Hi guys, and welcome to our weekly forecast video where we get to look at what's coming up next week in regards to price action, in regards to what we should anticipate. So I did ask on the group which current pairs or commodities you guys want me to have a look at, and I got pound yen, I also got Brent, and then I got UJ, USDJPY, and pound USD. So those are the currency pairs, the three currency pairs and one commodity that I'm going to look at in detail in this weekly forecast. Now, first things first, just to summarize what happened last week, we clearly have a proper forward guidance in what we should anticipate for the rest of the first quarter and beginning of the next quarter, or until the next FOMC. But it is also important that we pay much attention to the high impact fundamentals, things like NFP, things like CPI, the upcoming PPI. You see, we need to be in a position to read and analyze what the result means going forward. So we already have CPI and NFP out of the way after FOMC, and we clearly have a clear picture of the Fed not looking to cut rates up until probably mid-June, or at their June meeting. That's when we're going to see maybe the first rate cut. So that in itself gives us a forward guidance of probably a hawkish Fed. They want dollar to go up a bit before they start cutting their rates, and with better than expected fundamental results, then there isn't really much that they can do in terms of cutting rates. So yeah, understand that we are still bullish at this moment on dollar. We are way bullish, looking for price to trade into discount and go to the upside, like what we saw last week. I remember highlighting this pink shaded area as our area of focus on dollar index, and you can see that's where we traded to. We created our low of the week, and then from there price rallied to the upside. Now the rally to the upside left a liquidity void on H4, which was perfectly filled during the rest of the week. Basically the power of three for the weekly candle, the power of three, accumulation, manipulation, then distribution, AMD. That's exactly what happened. Price rallied, open, dropped into discount, rally to the upside, and then eventually distribute. So be in a position to see these things, to understand the price action when it's happening with live data. Now going forward, looking ahead into the upcoming week, I still maintain that dollar is still gonna go to the upside, but based on what, right? Number one, when we look at the COT report, and when we also look at let's see what we have on the calendar. Monday is bank holiday, so it's not an ideal day to trade. Monday is a bank holiday. Looking ahead to Tuesday, we haven't got much in terms of US fundamental on Tuesday, but we've got RBA meeting minutes. That's Tuesday AM. Remember, the RBA is the first bank that signaled most probably that they're going to cut their rates, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check on that. I did mention it in the group. Anyway, Be that as it may, right. The Australian Central Bank recently hinted at the possibility of further rate hikes, right? So these minutes will be crucial. You see, they were hinting on possible further rate hikes. That's why we saw AUD USD running to the upside, while currency pairs like Euro USD, Pound USD, they were trading below old lows, but eventually they also did rally to the upside. So it's those things that you just have to keep in mind. Then we also have CPI for Canada. That's on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, for the dollar, we've got FOMC minutes. We've got FOMC minutes. We're talking about the dollar here. And then on Thursday, what do we have? We've got the usual initial jobless claims, and then we've got manufacturing PMIs and service PMIs. Then Friday, there isn't really much in regards to the dollar. So looking ahead on Wednesday, right? From Wednesday already, from my own understanding, from my own perspective, I would already think that by Wednesday we should have created the low of the week on dollar. These FOMC minutes are just going to fulfill or to further elaborate what we have seen since the last FOMC meeting, since we last saw the NFP print, since we last saw the CPI print. So these minutes are basically going to enhance or to further explain why it's not really a matter of urgency now to cut rates. And with that, then we should see dollar trade to the upside. If I'm anticipating dollar to create the low of the week by Wednesday, right? Remember, I'm bullish, so I expect the low of the week to come in on Tuesday or Wednesday, London or New York session, just like what we saw last week. You can see the low of the week came in on so this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, came in on Tuesday. What time was this? Let me just zoom out. It came in on Tuesday, New York open. That's when we created the low of the week. So if I'm anticipating the low of the week on dollar by Wednesday, right, then what fundamental do I have to validate that? Right, on Tuesday we've got US leading index, which really is not much gonna be a high impact fundamental, but these FOMC minutes, you see, and these FOMC members, Bostics, when they talk, even Bowman here, the market is going to react, and it's at that moment in time that I should have already seen the low of the week, because whatever I expect from these guys should take dollar to the upside. So that's where you come now to the chart. You define your discount array, your premium arrays. Like now, last week's high is your target. You expect market to trade above last week's high. In terms of liquidity, you've got the low that was created last week, and you've got a discount range there. You've got the low from last week Tuesday. You've got your internal range liquidity of sell stops. Price should at least, might not test that low, might just, you can go say to the hourly chart. Okay, let me remove the daily dividers. You can see on the hourly chart we've got this bullish order block number 1, and then we also have this bullish order block number 2. So you can see that whole range there. You should expect market to find a bit of support. So basically, last week's discount array, the one in pink, is still in play in this coming week. Then from the COT side, we have seen also a further increase in open interest. Open interest on dollar has increased from 29,200 all the way to 32,227. That's like almost a 10% increase, right? And with last week's open interest increasing again and dollar being bullish, right? With open interest rising and dollar being bullish, this is a clear sign that we are still going to go to the upside. Market is still favoring longs in the coming weeks. Remember, if prices are in an uptrend and open interest is rising, this is a bullish sign. You can refer to week 4 for the interpretation of the increase in open interest. Remember, only get interested in open interest if it has a change that is more than, say, 6 or 7%. So now we have seen already that dollar index open interest has jumped by 10%. So yeah, with dollar being bullish, conversely, when we talk of pound USD, right? Let me go to pound. When you talk of pound USD, who asked for pound USD? I think that's Fanomcha. So Fanomcha, you asked about pound USD. So pound USD, we're still going lower. Remember 1.25182, the one I said, it's just too clean to be left like that. I'm still expecting price to trade below 125.180, right? I'm still a bear. I'm still bearish on pound USD. So taking note of your premium areas where you expect price to find resistance and trade to the downside, targeting 1.25180. So ideally you need to be hunting for shorting opportunities anywhere inside this crested area here, the one with the equilibrium price of 1.26449. so we're talking of 1.26450. That's an ideal zone for you to hunt for shorting opportunities. When price is in the gray shaded area, you refer to your calendar, right? You go to your calendar. Okay, let me just minimize here. Then you look at what's coming up in terms of fundamentals, right? So you can see Monday we've got bank holiday. There's nothing much. There's nothing for the pound. Same apply as on Tuesday. There's nothing for the pound. But on Wednesday we've got this public sector net borrowing. We also have CBI industrial trends, and then of course the dollar news. You see, those are the fundamentals you'll be looking ahead to when you're looking for positions on pound. Then on Thursday we've got PMIs coming in at 11:30 for the pound, right? We've got manufacturing PMI, service PMIs, composite PMI, and manufacturing PMI for the pound. So you expect those fundamentals to provide enough evidence whether you should short or go long on pound USD. But as of now, right now, the directional bias is pointing to the downside. I'll be looking for shorting opportunities in premium, right? What premium do I have on my H4 time frame, which is the entry time frame? Is this bearish order block? What's my trading range? From this high to that low. That's your trading range. It's inside this range here where you have now to classify your PD areas, your premium and discount areas, so that it becomes easy when you're looking at your chart and then you've got a fundamental that is upcoming, right? So someone gonna say, why didn't I highlight from here to there? That was last week's range, and you can see how price went right into optimum entry here. That was last week, and it pushed to the downside. So this week, this is my range for this week. So expect areas, levels like 1.26288, 1.26422 to provide what? Resistance, because it's a higher time frame premium array in the form of a bearish order block, right? You go to H1 with that range marked. You can see the 1.26288. That's an ideal area for you to short the market. You just don't short when price is there. You need a catalyst. You need something that's going to move the markets. When price is in this range, then you get negative news for the pound, or you get positive news for the dollar, right? Then pound USD is going to go to the downside. So that's pretty much about pound USD. I'm still favoring shorting opportunities, targeting 1.25180. I'm expecting this external range liquidity of sell stops inside my H4 range to be traded through. Then we also have UJ. UJ, we're going to be bullish. USDJPY, we're looking for price to go to the upside. Let's go to our monthly chart. So this is UJ. Right, UJ monthly chart. You can see the draw on liquidity. These are relatively equal highs, right? 152. Chances are very high that we could retest the 152 price point. Right, so we've got liquidity there, external range. We've got external range liquidity above 152. So the draw on liquidity on USDJPY is to the upside. Of course, we also have that monthly bearish OB, right? It's not that much of a high probability because it's not accompanied by a fair value gap. Yeah, it is not accompanied by a fair value gap, so it's not high probability, but it doesn't negate that you could also look for shorting opportunity, but only on negative dollar news, right? As it is, this bearish order block will provide resistance, but possibly after a run on the stops, after these buy stops have been liquidated, right? So expect 152 to be the draw on liquidity, meaning we are looking for long opportunities, right? Long opportunities, ideally from where we've got our discount array right there. You see, we've got a fair value gap, so you should anticipate, say, if price does drop into this gap, positive news for the dollar, we run upwards, right? Positive news for the dollar, we are going to the upside. So that weekly fair value gap is a high probability one in terms of looking for long opportunities, targeting 15200. Now on the daily chart, okay, let me get rid of this and that. So on the daily chart, you can see how price filled up this liquidity void from Tuesday, right? So this big green candle, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a Friday. That was because of CPI, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday's liquidity void had a fair value gap from this low and this high. You can see price came right to almost to the pip, right here, almost to the pip, and then eventually it went upside. So chances are very high that we could see another move lower to this breaker here, bullish breaker. You see, we broke these equal highs, so expect price to come lower and then push further to the upside, targeting 1.52. So it's a case of you marking out your institutional order flow, highlighting your premium and your discount array. This bullish order block on H4, it's not much of a high probability, but it is in discount from this bullish breaker. So ideally, this could be the ideal scenario. Price coming back to this breaker here and fill up this fair value gap, right, before it moves towards 152, before it moves towards 152. So that's on okay, let me just go back here. We go back and highlight 152. Yeah, 152 15194, that's 152. Then you go to your entry time frame. So you're expecting this price action. Now you can see the red lines that I've drawn, guys, the red arrows. These arrows simply mean what I'll be hunting for. So come Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm expecting a low of the week on UJ, right? And once I have that low of the week, if I've seen that it has been formed in discount, then for the rest of the week, price should rally targeting 152. It might happen, it might not happen, but that would be the assumption that I will have, the focus that I'll have when I'm looking at the chart, so that I know exactly what I'll be looking for. It won't be just a random opening of a chart and then, oh, I must do this. No, I already have a scenario that I'll be looking out for. Then finally we're looking at pound yen. Pound yen, this one, approach it from interest rates, central bank interest rates perspective. So just like 4 or 5 weeks ago, this one is Brighton who asked for pound yen. Just like 4 or 5 weeks ago when we did that detailed analysis on pound yen, same applies. Pound higher rate, yen lower rate, and BOJ not looking to increase or do anything on their policies. I'm still a bullish. I'm still expecting pound yen to go to the upside, right? To the upside, targeting which levels? Number one, this old high here, right? This level here, 195, that becomes your draw on liquidity, because we've already created a new high. So we just anticipating another reaccumulation before we push to the upside, right? So 195.86, that is your initial target on pound yen, right? We also have this bearish OB here, right? That bearish order block, it's accompanied by a fair value gap. You see, there's a fair value gap right there. Let me mark this high and the low of the order block. That's your draw on liquidity. That should be your target for longs. You see, between 190 and 192, that's your target for longs. But from where now? Where are you going to be looking for entry opportunities? Right now we go into detail on the current price action, right? So this is our weekly chart on pound yen. We've got this bullish order block, that's on the weekly chart, and you can see last week how price came back, reaccumulated in discount, and then pushes to create a new high, and then it goes lower. So you can basically say this is a bullish breaker, though it's not much in terms of volume, right? Because we've already traded above these old highs, we've created a new high. So this weekly bullish order block becomes crucial, right? When you go to your daily chart, you can see that's our weekly bullish order block, and price dipped into that level on Thursday and then rallied to the upside. So you're now anticipating price to retest, take out the liquidity on internal range liquidity right here. You see, you now anticipate price to run lower and trade below these two relatively equal lows before another push to the upside, targeting 195. You see, so longs are ideal on pound yen, meaning you're looking for price to create the low of the week in discount by Wednesday, New York open. You see, you already have an H4 fair value gap right there, and looking at the H4, your range is from this high to that low. That's last week's range, and you've got that fair value gap there, right? If you grab your fibs, low, okay, let me redo this. If you grab your fibs, okay, so this range here, from low to high, you need price to dip into this level here before it pushes to the upside. So you're looking for your retracement levels. So any entry below 188.80, you're looking for targeting 190 as your take profit, right? Ideally, you'd want price to trade below last week's low. Ideally, that's what you'd need on pound yen. So pound yen, ideally you need to be hunting for long opportunities, mainly say on Wednesday. I think, is it Wednesday? Let me go to the calendar. On Wednesday, Thursday, when we have those service PMIs, because that's when pound is gonna expand massively, and also during FOMC meeting minutes. Remember, these are just minutes, guys. They're not rate decision. So yeah, that's more or less regarding pound yen, expecting price to trade to the upside from discount. Then finally, just a rough look at gold. I don't want the video to be that long. It's already long. Looking at the precious metal, target of 2000 was reached last week, and we went even further lower. But look how price rallied and traded back above after taking out this liquidity here, right? So with that in mind, with this type of price action on gold, let me go to, should be my class profile if I'm not mistaken. No, this is not it. So it is here on commodities. So with gold, I'm still expecting price to go lower, right? I'm still expecting price to go lower. You can see right now we are on an H4 bearish breaker. Price has traded, and that's where the market closed. But just above that, we've got this bearish order block right here, right? Now that bearish order block, we've got a range. We've got our weekly range, high to low. See, high to low, you're expecting price to find resistance inside this area here. So this is our premium from 62 all the way to 79. That's our premium range. So I'm anticipating price inside this range here to find resistance and then push further to the downside, targeting this old low from December. That old low from December is now vulnerable in terms of price action. So I'm expecting gold to trade lower again, all the way back to 1973. So expecting, ideally you need to be looking for shorting opportunities on the precious metal in the coming week, since we are bullish on dollar. So ideally you need to be looking for shorting opportunities on the precious metal. Then Brent is a bit tricky at the moment in time, but longs are ideal. Ideally you need to be looking for longs here, Taffy. You need to be looking for longs, because you can see how price is accumulating in fair value here. What fair value do we have? This gap here. Price has filled up that fair value gap, and it's slowly creeping to the upside. So the creation of a new high from last week, this high here, not last week, 3 weeks high, 3 weeks back, relatively two equal highs here. Yeah, I'm expecting maybe another run to the upside towards the $86-88 a barrel before we start seeing lower prices again on Brent. Before we start seeing lower prices on Brent. So the draw on liquidity is right here, this high here. That's our draw on liquidity. We're talking of say $84.50. That's our institutional price point. Let me just so you're looking for price to at least test this level here, because we've got liquidity there. So our range that we are looking for is, this is our range, right? And this high here is vulnerable to the longs. Looking ideally for long opportunities on Brent from this bullish order block, right? Let's go to H4. So you can see there, $84 a barrel is an ideal target for longs, and you can see our price is reaccumulating. Each time there's a rally, there's a reaccumulation. We run above, or we run below an old low, and then we push. Look at this reaccumulation here from last week. Price rallied to the upside, then that drop. See, that's your reaccumulation. So I'm anticipating the same heading into the coming week, targeting $84 a barrel. So ideally you need to be looking for long opportunities on Brent. Looking for long opportunities on Brent, shorts on gold, shorts on pound USD, longs on pound yen, and longs on dollar index, and also longs on USD JPY. So yeah, that's pretty much about this week's forecast. Now, if there's anything that I have missed, if there's any questions, you are gladly welcome to ask, guys. Just send message on the group and I will get back to you. So yeah, with that, I wish you guys good luck and happy trading in the upcoming week. Thank you.